Alright, Jinx is going to have range added to her Q, Jax is becoming tankier, while Sivir is losing damage, and Redemption is being nerfed. So, in total, we have got 11 champions being buffed, 4 being nerfed, 2 who are adjusted, along with 3 item changes, and we are going to be breaking all of this down in today's video, as you can expect for patch 25.19 to arrive to live servers this upcoming Wednesday, September 24th. And it is no secret that League's ranking system is designed to trap you. It pulls you in with all of those games where everything just clicks and you carry hard only to balance it all out with the frustrating matches that feel unwinnable from the start. This cycle keeps you in the grind, hoping for change, but never quite breaking through it. And what most players don't realize about this is that escaping this cycle requires specific skills and real strategies tailored to your exact rank. And that is where Skill Capped comes in. We are the only live service in this industry that has invested millions of dollars into identifying what actually works at every tier. Our challenger coaches have mapped out the best and the most useful strategies that turn heart-stuck players into consistent climbers. And you can access literally all of that expertise for less than $9 a month with our annual plan. Listen, we're so confident in our method that our business model literally depends on your success. You climb at least 5 divisions while actively using Skill Capped, or you can claim a full refund. No questions asked. So stop wasting time on the ranked treadmill. Start climbing today with proven strategies designed specifically to break through your current rank. Check us out by clicking the link in the top right corner or in the description below. And with all of that being said, let's get into it. So with Redemption becoming a very popular rush item on many supports over the past few patches, it's going to receive a nerf for 25.19. The heal that you receive from Redemption is going to be lowered by 50. We have another nerf aimed at targeting melee supports, with Unsealed Spellbook having its initial swap cooldown increased from 4 to 4.5 minutes, and the minimum cooldown is going from 1.5 to 2 minutes. It looks like this nerf to Celestial Opposition is really only going to affect Nico at a significant level, as the item's no longer going to slow opponents if the user is dead. So, moving on to the champion buffs now, Ahri is going to receive quite a bit of additional damage to her R, with base damage up by 15 at rank 1, 35 at rank 2, and by 55 at rank 3. And remember, Ahri has 3 charges of her R, so if you're able to get all 3 procs off, it's actually going to be a pretty significant damage buff. Brand Jungle has been on the outside looking in as of recent, so Riot has a buff to his passive monster damage, going from 260 to 265%, while WAP ratio is up from 60 to 70%, and RAP ratio is going from 25 to 30%. So mid lane Brand benefits quite a bit from these changes as well, and support is going to benefit too, but to a lesser degree due to support not having the same kind of gold income as mid and jungle to be able to take advantage of the AP ratio buffs to the same extent. Caitlyn has been a lower tier ADC as of late, so she's getting a base AD buff going from 60 to 62, and 2 AD doesn't necessarily seem that big on paper, but for a champ who wants to be playing very aggro in lane, it should end up being somewhat significant. Diana Jungle is going to be on the rise for this patch, as her passive monster damage is going up from 260% to 300%. Diana has actually been above a 50% win rate in the jungle over the past patch, so these buffs likely going to push her into top tier territory. Draven has been one of the weaker ADCs for a while now, so Riot has 2 pretty solid buffs planned, with his W attack speed going up by 10% at all ranks, and then R damage is going up as well by 25 damage at all ranks. Jax is going to be looking to make a big pushback into meta for 25.19, as his R armor gain on first champion hit is going up from 25 to 50 at rank 1 in the spell. Magic resist gain is up as well from 15 to 30 at rank 1. So these changes are a big spike to Jax's level 6 all-in power, as adding 25 armor is equivalent to gaining 500 gold worth of stats for absolutely nothing. Jinx is going to have some strength added to her laning phase for this patch, as Q Fishbone's range is going up from 80 to 100, and then E damage is being increased by 20 at all ranks. Now we all know how insane Jinx's scaling power is, while her laning can leave a little bit more to be desired at times, so giving her weaker stage of the game more power is going to make her a more well-rounded champion. Jinx has not been a weak solo Q ADC lately either, so you can expect her to be a top 3 pick for 25.19 due to these buffs. Leblanc is going to be given a couple of AP ratio buffs, as her WAP ratio is going up from 70 to 80%, and the WRAP ratio is up from 75 to 80%. So nothing too crazy here for Leblanc, as her late game gets a bit bit better. However, the early game kill threat of LeBlanc is practically unaffected by this change. A few Lillia Buffs are on the way, with her R receiving 2 separate buffs. Now, first off, the damage is going up by 50 at all ranks, while AP ratio on R is being increased from 40 to 45%. And secondly, R cooldown is being lowered by 10 seconds at all ranks. Lillia R is such an impactful spell, so the fact that it's getting buffed this heavily should really put her in a solid spot for 25.19. Mel is going to be receiving a buff to her passive damage, as the base is going up from 24 scaling to 75 to 24 scaling to 99. And then AP ratio is up from 3 to 9%. Mel has been a very low win rate champ for the past while, so these buffs should finally bring her up into a decent spot for solo queue. Seraphine is going to be buffed in a few different ways for this patch, as Riot is going to be adding some durability to her kit this time. Health growth is up from 90 to 95, and mana growth is going from 25 to 40. Q damage amp is now going to apply to monsters, so you can help your team take objectives just a little bit faster here. And then W2 missing health heal is being increased from 3 scaling to 5% to 8 scaling to 16%. Corki is, let's just say it, he isn't very popular in solo queue literally at all, but he is in pro play. So with Worlds approaching, Riot wants to tone him down just a little bit here. Q damage is dropping from 70 scaling to 250 to 60 scaling to 240, and then Q80 ratio is down from 130 to 125%. Pantheon jungle is going to become weaker for this patch, as his Q monster damage is dropping from 90% to 75%. W minion and monster damage cap is going down as well from 200 to 120. Poppy jungle is being nerfed as well, with her Q% health minion and monster damage cap going from 75 scaling to 195 to 50 scaling to 170. Our cooldown on interruptions is nerfed, going from 15 to 30 seconds. Sivir has been in our OP tier for quite some time, so she's finally getting nerfed, with her Q bonus AD ratio dropping from 100 to 85%. The fact that this is a bonus AD ratio and not a total AD ratio means it won't actually be a super impactful nerf, so it's very likely Sivir still remains as a top tier ADC for the time being. Now, Lee Sin, however, is going to have some power shifted around in his kit for 25.19. Armor growth is dropping from 4.9 to 4.5, while Q base damage is going up from 55 scaling to 155 to 60 scaling to 180. Q80 ratio is down though from 115 to 95%. So with that Q change, we're going to have to head on to PBE and compare the damage to live servers at different item spikes to really better understand exactly how impactful this is going to be. So be sure to check back for our 25.19 tier list, where we're going to have the full breakdown on that. And then Syndra is last in line for some changes, as her health growth is going down from 104 to 100. Armor growth is going to be taking a hit, being lowered from 4.6 to 4. Q damage is going up though from 75 scaling to 215 to 80 scaling to 220, while QAP ratio is up from 65 to 70%, and then E cooldown is dropping from 17 to 15 seconds. So less durability in exchange for more offensive power, which for skilled Syndra players should be a nice trade-off.
Okay guys, one last thing. Our rank up guarantee is absolutely insane. It's kind of like signing up for the gym and then just getting a refund if you don't get ripped. That's how confident we are in Skillcapped. We obsess over making the best guides with the top players, the rigorous testing, and top tier video editing to make your climb as easy as possible. If you're ready to level up, just visit skillcapped.com and literally see the difference.
So there you have it, everyone. Those are all the changes that we can expect to hit live servers this upcoming Wednesday, September 24th. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see ya in the next one.